Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight's episode, we're getting into the latest drivel from failed journalist Piers Morgan, who mentioned that the great Lionel Messi does not make his World 11, and Talksport even invited him on to discuss it. So me and my brother are going to give our thoughts on it, and yeah, we can't wait for this one. Let's get it. So, Christian, here we are. We're on here to talk about Piers Morgan's latest. I say latest, This is a recent trend of his where he's talking about Lionel Messi in negative terms, which it's not a coincidence that it sort of coincides with the latest Ronaldo obsession that he's got. Because he got offered a couple of interviews by Cristiano. So obviously maybe part of that pact was that he has to completely slag Messi off in the media. He posted on Twitter, it's gotten like 4 million impressions, a lot of reactions to this tweet where he talks about his World 11. We won't do the rest of the 11. The headlines are he's got... the best bit is he mentions in his prime. He said Cristiano Ronaldo on the right, Ronaldinho on the left, Maradona number 10, and the Brazilian Ronaldo up front, R9. So, Christian, look, I really can't wait to hear what you got to say on this. I'm guessing a lot. Obviously, you've listened to the Talksport phone in. I actually heard it in the car on Monday.
I'm surprised you didn't crash.
Oh, it was painful. I sat in traffic and I was like, do I really have to listen to this? But I did, just because I thought, you know what, I want to speak to Christian about this one and record an episode. So Christian talked to me. Obviously, the headline is he basically states that Messi does not make his World 11. I mean, it's just insane. But give me your immediate thoughts on that.
So yeah, Alex, obviously you got me to watch it. Cheers for that. You put me through that pain as well. It was actually like a difficult watch. Have you ever watched anything so cringy? You're just like, I don't know if I kept having to pause it and like compose myself and go again.
But I was just grateful at the end of it when they asked him about Arsenal, really.
Yeah, no facts. So Alex, I mean, where do I start? Right, there's so many things to unpack, so many ridiculous, outlandish comments he made. I just want to start with one in particular. So he made a point saying since Xavi and Iniesta's departure, Messi basically couldn't do it without them. That's what he was alluding to. He then also, at the other end of the spectrum, talks up Ronaldo winning in the Nations League. Now, I suppose everything just fits his narrative, so we can't mention Messi's World Cup, I suppose, with a very substandard Argentina side, multiple Copas as well. I suppose we just don't mention them things. Also, the fact he's one of the first ever players to score in every knockout round, plus in the final. He was instrumental in a World Cup win. Can you imagine if, Alex, you talked about his recent obsession with Cristiano Ronaldo, who, by the way, I'm not talking down. I'm just specifically talking about Piers Morgan and his obsession with him, which is becoming quite weird. Now, if Ronaldo had done what Messi had done in that World Cup, he would simply not... Well, I mean, it's not that he glossed over it. He just doesn't even acknowledge it's happened. If Ronaldo had done the same thing, it would be like, this argument is done. This is not even a debate anymore. Now, because it doesn't fit his narrative, he doesn't even bring that up. It's just that, oh, well, all Messi's best work came under Xavi and Iniesta. Yes, he played with a great side, as did Cristiano Ronaldo. One thing I'd just like to put on, Alex, is, and I know you would probably back me on this, is Messi throughout his career has significantly made players better around him due to his much better IQ and vision than any other football player on the planet. Now, that's not that much of a debate. Anyone that watches football and enjoys football will probably agree with my standpoint here. The fact Piers Morgan doesn't even recognise how much better Messi brings on the whole team around him, it's absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe some of his points. I'd just like to get yours on that, Alex, though. That one in particular about the Xavi, Iniesta, and making out that Messi is kind of nothing without them. What are your thoughts?
It's just nonsense. It's complete bollocks, basically. Xavi and Iniesta are amazing players. Xavi and Iniesta are the ones that owe Messi gratitude for what he made them. This is like saying Henry owes Robert Pires and Freddie Ljungberg things. It's backwards, and I love Iniesta. You know, he's one of my favourite players. Yeah. Xavi's an all-time great, but we are talking about they're like in the very, very good, great category. Iniesta, Xavi. Messi is in a category all on his own. I don't want to turn this into a Messi versus Ronaldo, and I know even if we did, we would not bash Ronaldo because I don't need to, and two, I don't want to. I remember hearing something about Peter Crouch actually, and he said, if you pick Messi, it's a fantastic debate, and I love it. I mean, to be honest, I don't really engage in it anymore because post World Cup, it's just laughable, really. And I mean that with all the respect in the world. Ronaldo, in my opinion, is the second best player in history. This is not me bashing him, and we'll get to Ronaldo in a minute. Cristiano, that is. But Peter Crouch said, if people pick Ronaldo over Messi, he immediately loses respect for them as a sort of their opinion. He doesn't respect their opinion. I think that's a little bit too far, right? I'll explain why. Even though I think Messi is the best player ever, I think he's better than Ronaldo. I don't think that you can say that to someone because when people talk about favourite players, emotion is involved. And I don't think that people who love Ronaldo as a fan, I'm not saying are biased, but, you know, it can bring a little bit of cloudy judgment. And I think that's fair because I think a fan is allowed to worship somebody. And I know a lot of people do with Ronaldo. I mean, and if you don't worship him, you need to admire how amazing a player he was, and how many times he reinvented himself in multiple positions. But we'll come to the positions in a minute because that's something else Morgan said. I tell you what I do though. I do lose respect for people who, and this has happened quite a lot, where it's good pub chat in it, or if you're in work and you're chatting to someone about Messi, Ronaldo, or whatever. I do lose respect if your first things you say are to diminish Messi. If you think Ronaldo's better than Messi, tell me what Ronaldo does better on the pitch. Yeah. If your first things, you noticed that Piers Morgan, what were the first things he said? Messi has done nothing without Xavi and Iniesta. False. Messi's never done it in multiple leagues. False. Messi has failed. Messi has failed. What did he say? I think he said he's failed. He was a failure. He didn't live up to Maradona's name. Again, false. If you have to bash somebody else, then in my opinion, I don't respect you. I don't respect what you're going to say. If you come at me and go, I think Ronaldo's the best player of all time, which Piers Morgan apparently does, and your first things are supreme header of the ball, the best header of the ball in history, an absolute big game dog that quarterfinal, semi-final, final in Champions League, he did it continuously. Major reason why Real Madrid won 3 in a row. Yeah. If you want to come at me with these things, brilliant in multiple positions, amazing goal scorer, one of the best shooters from the edge of the box we've ever seen with both feet, probably the best weak foot in history. If you come at me with them, I will listen, and I will not lose respect for you. I disagree. I disagree with the overall take, but I will respect your opinion. If you come at me and start just bashing Messi in this pathetic game of point scoring, I will just switch off. I lose respect for you. And the thing with Piers Morgan, he spent the whole interview, he didn't once say what Ronaldo does better than Messi on the pitch. Every single thing he said was bashing Messi, so immediately I've lost respect. I don't have any respect for him anyway. He's the biggest flip-flop in history. But let's Christian, let's come to the team, because I don't want to turn this into Ronaldo Messi. I want to talk about this awful take and how disrespectful it is to the great man who everybody should enjoy because he's 38 today. Happy birthday to Lionel Messi. He's going to be gone soon. And you saw the free kick the other night against FC Porto. He still shows you glimpses, and you've got to enjoy him, and not just a free kick. He can still run a game. The tempo comes from him. He dictates.
He dictates the game. Alex, so just one thing. As you mentioned the free kick, I just wanted to say something on that, by the way. Just another idiotic hypocrisy moment from Piers Morgan within that interview. He mentions a reason, they bring up Roberto Carlos, right? And he goes, well, I couldn't leave him out there because of how much of a supreme free kick taker he was, right? So I'll just give you something, Alex. Now, Roberto Carlos scored 11 career free kick goals. Messi has scored 65.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying, by the way, no one should be being picked just because of one individual attribute. It's an overall thing. I understand that. I'm just saying, that idiot led with that. But it's like, are we just going to ignore Messi? He's the greatest free kick taker we've probably ever... Well, one of them we've ever seen. I know there's a few other random, wild cards like...
Janino. No, I think you're right. I think the best way to come into this debate is, what people talk. Obviously, I'm a United fan, as people can clearly see, and anybody who watches the content know I am. You're a City fan. If people talk to you about, let's chuck De Bruyne in now because he's been, he's obviously his chapter's finished in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You go Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, De Bruyne. We could talk about that. Now, I think a lot of fans wouldn't sit there spending 10 minutes saying what they did shit. They would say, I think X is better because he did this amazing. And that's what I'd say about Messi. And the situation with Ronaldo is that I've just listed things that I think Ronaldo is the best at. I think he is the best header of the ball we've ever seen. I think he's got the best weak foot of anybody I've ever seen. Ever. And I don't even know the stats. I've not even got the stats in front of me. I'm just telling you what my eyes have told me. That Ronaldo on his left foot, weak foot, is in my opinion, I think he's got the best in history. I don't even think anybody's that close, to be honest. Nobody even comes. De Bruyne might be in that category, but he's nowhere near the level of the ball striking. Ronaldo's got the finishing.
And you touched you touched on it, Alex, before though, and you said about Ronaldo transition, and I think he's probably one of the best examples. Certainly the best I've ever seen to. As his career's gone on, he's managed to morph himself into different versions, and he's always still managed to be top of his game in every single version. So you can't disrespect that. And look, he moved with the times. He realised, look, I'm not the same skinny winger I was at Manchester United. He then morphed into just this supreme goal scorer extraordinaire at Real Madrid. And then it was like, right, I'm losing my legs, so, I'm going to have to move from the left wing position. He's then become an absolute marksman up front as a centre forward. This is what Messi v Ronaldo thing. It doesn't need to be, like you say, a bullshit slanging match between both sets of I prefer Messi, I prefer Ronaldo. It doesn't matter. We can enjoy both of them simultaneously. I mean, they have given us the best years, and we have never seen two players go at it like this. Ronaldo even said it himself at a Ballon d'Or ceremony. He was like, this has never happened. Two people have never shared the stage like this before.
No, I think you make a good point. And I also think that they have, I mean, Ronaldo said it, obviously he does more media work than Messi. But I do believe that they both pushed each other on. I mean, Ronaldo's quoted saying that. And we are the beneficiary of that. To get useless twats on the radio like Piers Morgan to come on there and diminish 20 years of some of the greatest football ever, if not the greatest footballer ever, is so just ridiculous to hear. And for Troy Deeney to sit there, an ex-player, by the way, he's played the game, not at the highest level, but he did play in the Prem. For him to sit there and not clap back and even challenge him just says a lot about that radio station, to be honest. Because I tell you what, if I was the one hosting that interview, I'd be coming straight back at him on multiple points. You already touched on them. The first one, let's get into it, Christian.
Yeah.
Now, he's tried to be clever with this, but he's so thick. Anybody that actually knows Messi and Ronaldo can unpack what he's tried to hide as an agenda. The World 11 is an agenda against Messi because what he does is he gives it away straight away. So he goes, in their prime. Well, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Let's go prime. He then goes, so we've got Ronaldinho left, Cristiano right, Maradona 10, R9 up front right. So what he's done is he's gone, Cristiano Ronaldo is on the right wing. Hang on a minute. You're meant to be a super fan. You're meant to worship Cristiano Ronaldo here. Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't played on the right wing for about 16 years, maybe longer, maybe 17 years. I know because I watched him play on the right wing. The only time he played on the right wing was for my club, and even that faded towards the back end. He played on the right wing when he was younger because we had gigs. And then when it realised that maybe the guy's got goals, we thought, you know what, well, why don't we have him on the left? Because his shooting opportunities are going to increase. The Robben archetype player. Ronaldo and Messi are Robben archetype players. I know Ronaldo's gone on to something else, but they are like the Robben. That's how they started. Ronaldo is a cut-in left forward who then became a poacher in the later years. Messi is a cut-in right forward on his left foot. Now, this is not opinion. This is factual. Cristiano Ronaldo is not a better right winger than Lionel Messi. To be honest, there's other right wingers in history who are better than Ronaldo on the right.
Yeah.
Bale probably is. Robben probably is. This isn't a hot take. Cristiano Ronaldo's a better footballer than Bale and Robben, by a distance, by the way. But on the right wing alone, absolute nonsense. Morgan has put him on the right because he's going to just go, I just think Ronaldo's the GOAT, so he's got to play there. No. Your team should read Cristiano on the left over Ronaldinho. I've not watched Maradona, so if he wants to go Maradona 10, he's older than me. Messi on the right. That's simple. What he's done is he's got an agenda against Messi, so he's actually played his worship Ronaldo out of position.
Yeah, Alex, that's the most laughable part of it, is he sits there for the whole interview glossing Ronaldo as the greatest ever, the GOAT, but he plays it, he goes with the standpoint of, right, I'm going to have to get him in, so I'll put him in somewhere. And it's like, well, no, do you not then think, who are you going with? Do you prefer Ronaldinho then? Because you've picked players in a position where Ronaldo has played his whole career, and that's where he's played his best minutes. I just wanted to touch on this, Alex, right? So what he is technically saying is Ronaldo's right wing days were Sporting Lisbon when you signed him as a very young, skinny teenager, talented but very raw. Yeah. You know, we know what Ronaldo was, and then his early years at Manchester United, like you said, as time went on, he progressed. United realised he was more useful elsewhere, and you could get more goals out of him. Supreme heading ability, he was strong on the ball. You had him better cutting in on the right foot. So what Piers Morgan's actually saying then is, at their peak, as he keeps mentioning. So at Messi's peak, I'd say would it be 2012, Alex? We're talking about that 91 goal season in which he actually scored 59 league goals, right? That was from the right wing position drifting in. Now, he's saying at the peak, Ronaldo's early Sporting Lisbon days and early Manchester United years are better than Messi's 91 goal return in 2012 and 59 league goals. That guy should get off any platform and no one should give him a voice. He is an absolute fool. This is not a Messi and Ronaldo thing. This is someone making a nonsensical comment, and he should be called on it. And like you said, the fact that them two sit there and they don't say fair play. I know the woman maybe wanted to say a little bit more. Forgive me, I forgot her name. However, for Dini, that is disgraceful. That he doesn't even challenge. And the only thing he comes back with, just because he doesn't want to be a complete lick arse, is, oh, they've had Ashley Cole. That's where you're going with this. That's the headline, you fucking fool.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on your comments there with the position and the right wing. Transfer Market actually detail people's appearances by position. Now, I know people switch, but I guess they probably weighted it. He played the most of the game on the left wing. Cristiano Ronaldo, this is numbers, by the way. This is not my opinion, although I know what I've seen over the last 25 years. Cristiano Ronaldo's made 176 appearances as a right winger. He's made 406 as a left winger. He's made 369 appearances as a centre forward.
Yeah.
Just to make it even better, they've actually broke it down by season where he actually played. Now, 2008-09 season, his last season at Manchester United, he made 25 appearances on the right wing, scored 14 goals, so not Ronaldo prolific. Do you know how many times he played on the right wing after that in La Liga and Champions League? 9. Since 2009, Cristiano Ronaldo, the best right winger in history, has played there 9 times. Cristiano Ronaldo, if you actually pushed him on this, I think he would disagree with this. It's blasphemous. It's actually one of the most egregious things I've ever heard in a Messi-Ronaldo debate, and I've heard some good ones, which we'll come to. But I'm telling you right now, Lionel Messi, this is not an argument. It's not an opinion. It's fact. Lionel Messi is better off the right side than Cristiano. Even Ronaldo would agree with that.
Yeah.
So I've got the numbers. He said Cristiano Ronaldo is the best right winger in history. He's not played there since 2009. It's absolute madness. I can't believe Troy Deeney didn't. It just says everything about that show, though. They just wanted a 10-minute segment of Morgan bashing Messi, so people like me and you and lots of other people with bigger audiences than us, they get on their channel and talk about how much of an idiot Talksport get mentioned and they might trend, and that's all it is. and it frustrates me to listen to, like you said.
His own idol, Alex, like you say, you hit the nail on the head. As I go back to what he said in the Ballon d'Or, that interview, and he's talking and he's sat next to Messi, and he's saying, two guys have never done this before. We've never shared the stage like this. They have pushed each other on to levels. Messi obviously talks less because, his English obviously isn't great, and Ronaldo has done most of the talking, but I'm sure Messi would share the same sentiment in terms of they did drive each other on, especially, the years at Real Madrid and Barcelona, respectively.
Yeah.
And for him to say, Piers Morgan to not put Messi in his World 11, like you say, it's just attention seeking. But one thing, Alex, actually, I've got just a question on this. So I do think it is attention seeking, right? Because he has at least watched a few Messi games, so that just makes him dumb if this was his genuine take.
Yeah, no, I believe
so I do get that. Yeah. However, I do want to ask you this and just give you my thoughts as well. I genuinely think Piers Morgan doesn't really watch a lot of football. So, he's a big Arsenal fan. I reckon he will be one of them fans where it's like, he'll watch Arsenal, the big games and stuff like that. Fulham away, 3:00. He probably checks his phone when it's done. I reckon he's one of them ones. Can spot it a mile away. Yeah. And in terms of watching any other team, fucking forget it.
Very possible, yeah.
He does not. He's a YouTube highlight kind of guy, if that. I'm telling you, his footballing IQ is not very good. And that's not just based on this. It's based on a lot of things he said. Basically, when Cristiano Ronaldo was leaving Manchester United, now, there was a lot of controversy around that. Could Ronaldo really stay at United? And the way it soured, probably not great. However, at the time, he interviewed Ronaldo, and he wanted Ronaldo at Arsenal. Now, I'm not disrespecting Ronaldo at any point here. I'm just saying at that time in his career... No, that would not have been the right move at all. No. Arsenal are a team. It would not be suited to have a guy up front who's quite static. You know what you need to do to get Ronaldo goals in terms of contribution to the team and pressing and things like that. Obviously, he's not at a point in his career where he can do that any longer. Piers Morgan doesn't watch football that much. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. Look, you're right. That comment there you made that Arsenal should sign him, and the funny thing about that is, at what point do you sit there and go, "Hang on a minute, I'm probably one of the few people who thinks this." Every club in Europe did not want Ronaldo, hence why he went to Al Nassr. Now, at what point do you think you're smarter than every club in Europe? Because you're clearly not, and it's like you said, it's all in line with if you chuck Ronaldo into the conversation with Piers Morgan. His terrible takes get even more terrible. And this is the all-time worst. Like you said, anybody with a brain could have challenged him on the right-wing shit, didn't. Troy Dean is fucking stupid. I just want to talk about, this is the best bit, though. So, I didn't actually send this to you because I wanted to get your reaction, right? So, Piers Morgan's quite big on Twitter, and Twitter's been around a long time. I know it's now called X, but I've been on there from the Twitter days, so I still refer to it as Twitter. Piers Morgan has tweeted a lot of times in his life, and you know what a good thing about Twitter is? It's basically keeping your own receipts on everything you think at the time. And I've got some receipts of Mr. Messi is overrated. Mr. Messi is not in my World 11. Mr. Messi is not as good on the right hand side as Cristiano Ronaldo. 2012, I won't read the date out, it doesn't matter. It's in 2012. Messi's the greatest footballer ever, and Cristiano's the second best. Any further debate is superfluous. I have spoken. So that's one. He has now deleted that tweet, but luckily for us, screenshots exist. I got another one, 2011, a year before this. Looks like it was after the Champions League final against my team. So I do actually agree with him on this because he was out of his mind that night. And I've never seen, I think to this day, it's the only 10 out of 10 Champions League performance on who scored rate in history. I don't care what the experts say. Lionel Messi is the best player ever. Hashtag Messica. Do you want another one? Last one, 2018. So I don't know when this obsession started.
That fucking interview.
Salah's a more complete player than Ronaldo was at United. Right. Should we start with? Let's go with 2011. I don't care what experts say. Lionel Messi is the best player ever. This was in 2011. I agree with him, by the way. I watched the same Champions League final. My opinion has never changed since then. He was just ridiculous. I've never seen anything like him that night. And to be honest, it wasn't just 2011. I think you mentioned 2012 was the 91 goals. 2015 was the MSN mental season that he had from the right wing when Suarez played up front. And then the 2018-19, which because PK and ter Stegen tossed away a 3-0 lead at Anfield, he gets blamed for it. He was out of his mind that season as well.
Yeah.
And then the greatest World Cup campaign, maybe in history, in our lifetime anyway. We didn't see Maradona. What's really interesting about this, Christian, here, we've got multiple tweets by this guy saying that Messi's better than Ronaldo. Now, look at that World 11. Ronaldinho, what did he do after 2012? Maradona, what did he do after 2012? R9, what did he do after 2012? So apparently, Cristiano's jumped Messi since these tweets in his head. I disagree, but at least he is an active player.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho, Maradona, and R9 have done nothing since 2012 on a football pitch. Two of them were retired, and Ronaldinho was coming to the end. So how have they jumped Messi? How has Maradona? Another thing he said, Maradona's the best Argentinian ever. Well, in 2012, you said Messi's the greatest footballer ever. So what are you telling me? In the last 13 years, Maradona's changed your mind? Well, how's he done that? By partying? By
Alex,
dying?
it stems. No, you are so right.
So the agenda, it's actually written for everybody, and any idiot who thinks this guy is giving his actual takes, he literally himself said 2012, 2011 that Lionel Messi is the best player of all time. A lot of people labelled him that after that Wembley massacre that he correctly hashtagged. To now say that Cristiano has jumped him. You know what? At least Cristiano is an active player, and he has had an amazing 2012 to 2018. Ronaldo was up there with Messi as 1 and 2.
Yeah, at least you can formulate some sort of debate.
At least you can go, no, he's jumped him. I'll delete those tweets, but I will also say he's jumped him. What are you telling me? 3 retired players or nearly retired players also jumped him as well.
Yeah, he's a fool. He's an absolute fool. Alex, I think it stems from, I see it a lot online, and I think, obviously, you got the Ronaldo interview, which is then this weird, fanboying started. I mean, some of the comments he made are just uncomfortable as well, talking about R9. I can't even be arsed going into it. It's fucking grim. But anyway, apparently there's a lot of widespread news.
What about the Salah comment?
Alex, I didn't get to that part of the interview. I actually turned
No, this is a tweet. This is a receipt. 2008.
Oh, right, okay.
Salah's a more complete player than Ronaldo was at United. This is the same Ronaldo that apparently right-wing Ronaldo is better than Messi. Well, apparently...
Salah should be there then.
7 years ago, you said Salah was a more complete player than when Ronaldo was on the right wing.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And Ronaldo hasn't featured on the right wing since then, so it just makes no sense. It's just more examples of his... he's an absolute idiot. The thing is, with Piers Morgan, apparently... he did want an interview with Messi and got turned down. And I don't know whether it stemmed from that he obviously got the interview with Ronaldo and then he's just started this ridiculousness about it. I just think he is a fool. I mean, Alex, going very off topic, do you remember when these silly takes of his aren't just restricted to football, by the way? I remember when he was a Britain's Got Talent judge, and Diversity, like the best dance crew there's ever been, he randomly decided he liked Flawless, like the other one that was more, like significantly worse. So I don't know whether he just goes with this take in all walks of his life, maybe. I don't know. I just think he's a general idiot. And the thing is, just one thing on Messi, Alex. So you mentioned Kevin De Bruyne now. There's been a lot of players in this era and players from the past who are remarkable at certain things in their game, like, midfielders that we can talk of, such as Kevin De Bruyne, who are probably one of the best passers I've seen. Certainly that season with the assist at Stoke, where he could take 3-4 guys, a full defence out with one pass. And I am a City fan, and I can honestly sit here and say Messi is levels above that. Now, Messi is not a midfielder. That was not the main part of his game. But Messi is better at people who that was their main part of their game. Does that not speak volumes? And I have no bias here. If I did, it would be Kevin De Bruyne. He's one of my favourite players ever. But sometimes you've just got to watch and enjoy football. And if you watch with your eyes, then you understand Messi is the best passer we've ever seen. and it isn't even his main attribute.
Yeah, no, Christian, I think it's good. I think we spent half an hour talking about how stupid Piers Morgan is, but I think it's good to just get our points across. And obviously, this is not about us saying it's not a Messi Ronaldo episode. I don't know if we'll ever do one because of how toxic it will probably get in the comments. If people
exactly.
But it is just more of a highlighting how stupid he is, and if anybody does watch him and just think, maybe younger people who love Ronaldo and love his celebration, if you think that this guy is really truthful and has any truth to anything he says, it's not true. So yeah, let's talk about Messi. You touched on the passing, and obviously the great man is 38 years old today, and I still remember the first time I watched him on telly. Can't remember the year, maybe 06. He was wearing what looked like his dad's Barcelona top. It was the baggiest top I've ever seen. He was wearing Nike boots, and it was away against Chelsea. I believe it must have been Mourinho's Chelsea, who were notoriously the best defence in Europe by a distance at the time. I think they went a league season with conceding about 15 goals or something daft. And Messi was maybe 17 or 18. He started on the right wing. No surprise there. Against Asier Del Horno. Robben was playing Lampard, Terry, Carvalho. It was a tough Chelsea side. And it was the worst pitch ever. It looked like he was playing on a beach. Please go and search it if you've not seen it. Maybe younger people watching this episode. Go and look. Messi versus Chelsea 2006-ish. He's wearing a yellow top. Number 30 on the back. He was ridiculous. I couldn't actually believe what I was watching of a kid of that age could compete. It wasn't just the technical ability. It was the physicality, his aggression that he's shown. And for a little guy to not get bullied, and probably where the Maradona comparison started, where, you can't bully this guy. You can't even get near him anyway. And even if you do, he will get up and keep coming. He ain't going to dive. He is going to keep coming back at you. And Guardiola talks about his mentality is the best Guardiola's ever seen. Think of the people Guardiola's worked with. Quite a quiet guy on the surface, but an absolute animal on a football pitch. Forget the technical thing. But yeah, do you want to talk about Messi? Obviously, you mentioned the passing. Anything in any games in history that you just think back and you just
Alex. I mean, I've not got the exact dates, but we had a weird period where we seemed to keep getting them in the Champions League, and they just put us to the sword so many times. I know we actually beat them. With Pep, I don't know if was it Pep's second year or first year?
I remember the game.
I actually went to it, to be honest, and I remember we did get absolutely battered. There was times throughout the game, yes, we did end up winning, and it was a great match. But when you watch Messi on the ball, and even before Pep came to us and he was in the stands, and he had this game where he was just taking the absolute piss. Milner must have been megs 3-4 times in that match. Yaya as well. We have, these are decent players, by the way. Yaya, one of the best.
Silva. And he makes
Silva again, one of my favourite ever players. Yeah. And he was just on another level. And it was weird because when I was at the Etihad watching him that time, and we did actually weirdly win, and I was sat with my dad and I was just like, sometimes, when you're pissed off when you're playing other teams and they're getting the better of you, you've just got to look at it and be like, I enjoy what I'm watching. I'm a football fan at core. How can you not rate this? He's dismantling our club, and we are a very good side. Messi gave us moments that I've never really seen in football. I mean, if you look, even now, the way he dictates play and his vision and how consistent he is with his weight of pass, that it is always perfect. When he shapes, opens his body and plays that left-footed pass into the left winger, whether it be at Inter Miami or whether it be Argentina, he weights the pass perfectly every single time. He splits defences every single time. We've never seen this. And at his age, how he is still doing this, it's just phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned about the City games and the 2014-15 season, so it must have been 2015 in the knockouts. He missed a penalty and he missed an open net rebound. He was absolutely out of his mind in that game. And he didn't score. I don't think he got an assist. And that's just the greatness of the man that again, any young listeners, please go and search Messi vs City 2015. Again, big baggy yellow top. It was the MSN day, so he'd filled out a little bit. Suarez was number 9. Messi was on this right wing where apparently fucking 20-year-old Ronaldo was better. He's just an incredible player, and I have, same as you, attributes we've never seen anything like it. I mean, he's the best passer of all time. He's the best dribbler of all time. He's the best finisher of all time. He's probably the smartest player of all time. He's just a phenomenon, and it's crazy to think that people would rather slander him than praise him. It's amazing, really, because I praise Ronaldo in this episode, and I praised him to you, and obviously I'm a United fan. I'm grateful for amazing things he did at the first stint at the club. You know, we won three leagues in a row. We won a Champions League. I've got gratitude towards Ronaldo, and I don't worship him like some United fans do, because I think of him as a Real Madrid player as a whole.
Yeah.
And fair enough, the guy wanted to go, he went, and he had an amazing career there. So, no complaints. But I don't worship him. I defend him like a United legend. He is a United legend because those 3 years were exceptional. And to be honest, the three before them weren't terrible. He just wasn't the... He obviously went up a level in 2006.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo does have negative traits to his game. He does go over easily. He does bollock teammates continually. There's a clip where I think Arbeloa tapped in a goal against for Real Madrid, and he was behind Arbeloa, and he was angry. These things, when he missed the pen and Portugal went to extra time, only a year ago, 39 years old, he's crying mid-game that he missed the pen because that's what he wants. Your nation is still in a knockout game. Think about your experience. You're not 19 years old. Like, there is negative traits to his game where Messi doesn't really do any of those things. Messi doesn't really dive ever. By all accounts, he has grown into a good captain and a good leader, even though he's quieter. But he certainly doesn't impact players around him. And I've seen it with Ronaldo at my club in the most recent stint where everybody went to complete shit, probably because he's, not happy with the level. And I agree with him, but, you've got to try and manage people. You're a leader. People look up to you. And those negative things exist with Ronaldo that don't with Messi. So how you can have this take on bashing Messi it's just weird to me. And I wouldn't bash either of them, by the way.
No, yeah, for sure. I agree with you on all them points, Alex. And I don't want to revert back to this idiot too many times, but there's just something I thought of while you were speaking then, and just something we didn't really touch on that much. So he mentioned Xavi and Iniesta, and obviously alluding to that Messi is nothing without them, which is just nonsensical. I won't do a deep dive into it just because I don't think he even deserves it. I just wanted to say this, Alex. So Ronaldo and Messi, respectively, have gave us so many individual brilliant performances where there's not really been anyone else involved. It's just been, my God, what am I watching? And they've done it on multiple occasions. However, with Messi has done it consistently on his own throughout his career. Like, them games have come often. Now, I'm not saying this anything against Ronaldo, because Ronaldo, like I gave him his flowers, has adapted his game so many times. So Ronaldo has needed to, rely on service, because ultimately when you become a centre-forward and you're going to stand there and you're restricting your movement, of course you're relying on people to play the right passes to you. All I will say is Messi has always been more self-sufficient. I don't think many people could disagree because of the reasons I've just given. Messi has consistently been the creator. He's always been the best passer in the team. He's always been the player with the best vision. And if you talk about individual performances, I mean, I only need to talk from that we were at the rough end of his sword a few times when he was just destroying us, especially when we broke into the Champions League and he was just cutting us open every time. I remember one game at the Nou Camp and he called Joe Hart a phenomenal, which if I was Joe Hart, I'd have that in my fucking above my bedroom, above my bed or something. But I remember that game and they'd absolutely destroyed us anyway. They'd still scored a few, but it's just beyond belief that he couldn't recognise, Piers Morgan can't recognise that Messi was always such a self-sufficient player where them performances of individual brilliance came at a much higher rate than any other football we've seen in past times. I don't think that's really that much of a debate. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think the crazy thing is about Messi is that he's still at 38 and his game hasn't changed massively. He can't do it at the frequency he used to. The 10, 11, 12 dribbles a game, clearly, and he's off the ball work. He just walks around the pitch. But he still plays. I think he has similar heat maps to David Silva and De Bruyne.
Yeah.
That's there was a season where Messi and David Silva had an almost identical heat map, but Messi scored 60 goals that season. And I think David Silva's an exceptional player, by the way. I'm just putting in perspective that a lot of Messi's heavy lifting is done from the halfway line. Think of the goals he picks up off Busquets. Think of the goals he creates from picking it up off Busquets. This is, he's a freak of nature. Don't talk to me about goals. Ronaldo's the greatest goal scorer, probably, but when they were in Europe, they were going toe for toe, weren't they? So, I think Ronaldo's pulled away with a bit of Saudi goals and some Portugal goals. But generally, it's been very equal statistically. But Messi doesn't stand in the box and never has. And again, not a shade of Ronaldo. He did what was the natural transition for him as a player. And it was the best version of what he could deliver at the time. He always squeezed out the most juice of that season, Ronaldo. It was never I should have done this, I should have done that in 2013. No. When Zidane was there, we're going to manage your minutes, you're going to win us the Champions League. And that's the correct way to do it.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights of Inter Miami against Porto the other night. Messi's still the same player. The World Cup in Qatar, for him to play 7 games at that level, go to extra time twice, penalties twice, 7 games in a month at that level, in that heat, and be... I just want to talk about that tournament as well, but just before we wrap up on this, and people talk about the penalties and it was rigged for Argentina. Now ask yourself this. Forget who won the tournament. Who was the best player at that tournament by a distance? Lionel Messi was the best player at that tournament. He won the best player award. Win or lose that final. If Kolo Muani scores that goal, Lionel Messi was the best player of that tournament.
Yeah, facts.
At 35 years old. Nothing changes from that. If Argentina didn't get any penalties in that tournament, Lionel Messi was the best player. That's factual. So stop looking at why Argentina won or trying to think they got handouts from the ref. Messi turned up at 35 years old in Qatar and gave an all-time World Cup performance that people who watch Maradona say that maybe only Maradona trumped that in 86 or whatever year it was before we were born. And I just think that his play style to never change from the worker yard dribbler that he is now. Obviously, back in the day, he'd slalom past 5. I just think it's incredible, and physically how he's done it. 38 years old, he ain't stood in the box, Christian.
No, exactly. I mean, you just touched on it as well. Even now, I was watching Inter Miami game. I can't remember who they played first match. Was it Ali or someone? And look, the opposition is poor. However, like you say, Messi's never changed his game. So Inter Miami are dog shit. Don't get me wrong. So they really couldn't get the ball up to him. So Messi obviously just all right, fuck this. I'm dropping deeper. Messi was like in the DM role. I'm not even kidding. That's where he was picking up play. And notice when he started dropping into that role, suddenly he's dipping his shoulder, he's slaloming past a few players, and then he's opening his body, playing it out to the winger. They're then wasteful, predictably, because it's into Miami. All I'm saying is Messi's still doing the same thing now that he was years ago. Like you said, it's just he has to pick his moments. He has to be conservative with his energy now, which is fair enough. That's my main issue on it, Alex. I fully back you with everything you said on the World Cup. I echo them thoughts. We've never seen anything like it. I mean, you look at that Argentina squad, that is not a World Cup winning squad. Let's get that right. I mean,
he won it because he was the best player, Christian. Argentina won the tournament because Messi was the best player. Mbappe.
I mean, you're talking about Mbappe, Alex. I just wanted to say this. Yeah, you just brought him up. So, Kylian Mbappe, how old was he in that tournament? Must be early, very early 20s, right?
24, 23, yeah.
Right, so he's at peak physical performance, right? Messi's 35. Now, a lot of these players that we see now, your Vinicius, these, the young lads of today that will idolise these players, which is fair enough. I did when I was young. But what you are idolising is players that are at their peak of their physical attributes. Now, when they are 35, Kylian Mbappe will not be any sort of player that will be able to compete with 24-year-olds. I'm sorry, this is facts. Because Kylian Mbappe, technically, is not anywhere near players of the past that we see technical geniuses. He's not. Neither is Vinicius. When their physical best is behind them, you will see that other players, the younger players, they will they'll be far superior of these guys. And that is what makes Messi incredible, and Ronaldo for that matter as well. And I give him a shout because, like we say, yes, we are saying that Messi hasn't really changed his game as much, but Messi's not even human in my eyes. Ronaldo, it's fair fucking play to transition yourself and keep going, keep reinventing yourself, and keep mastering new positions. It only deserves respect. And we will not see this from the guys of this era because they're not like Messi and Ronaldo. So give them both the flowers. But also at the same time, do not make stupid fucking comments and leave either of them out. They are the best too.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally right. And obviously Messi is a phenomenon, but then in a different way, so is Ronaldo, and he deserves his flowers for becoming what he became, because naturally his probably projection as a 17, 16-year-old player was not this. I think what Messi deserves credit for is that he has improved everything to the maximum as well. But I feel like the flaw of what Messi was given as a talent was best player in the world. As long as Messi didn't get injured or didn't have sort of bad eating or drinking habits, Messi was going to be best player in the world. Ronaldo probably didn't have that trajectory, and he got there against, in our opinion, the best player to ever lace them up. So huge respect to Ronaldo, and one more World Cup with both of them. I don't know what level we're going to get from them. I hope we get moments from both of them because they are box office, and you want to enjoy them. And just one last thing before we finish. I mentioned before that if I sit down and talk to someone about Ronaldo Messi, another thing I don't want to hear, another thing I'll lose respect on is done it in multiple leagues. Since when has staying at one club and showing loyalty for your career become a negative? Now, a lot of United fans use this argument that worship Ronaldo. Okay, well, are you saying that Scholes isn't as good as he should be because he never tested himself? What about Giggs? Is Bale better than Giggs then because Bale went to La Liga and he did it in the Prem? You're going to say no. I know you're going to say no because I know the people that say this. You're not going to say that Zidane is better than Scholes. If I sat there and went, Zidane's better than Scholes because he played in Serie A and La Liga, they would go, what? No, it's bollocks. So why is it a negativity then? I'm not being funny, but Ronaldo went to the same league and they teed off against each other for 9 years. So it's not like one did stay in the Prem all his career and one didn't. And also, before you go on this, I know you're going to, the Champions League happens every year. Messi gets an opportunity to play against the best teams in each division every single season of his career. And guess what? Messi scored about 30 goals against English clubs in the Champions League. 30. It might be more. I might have been 35. I don't know. But it was in the... I think I seen it on Sky, and it was like most goals against the top six. Yeah. And Messi was in there, and it was a Prem game.
Yeah. Alex, you beat me to it. I was just going to bring this up. I was just going to say,
it was the only one we missed.
Yeah, the beauty of that dumbass argument of, oh, well, we've not seen him do it in England, we've not seen him do it against Italy. Yeah, well, the beauty of that is we get this competition called the Champions League where the best teams from all these respective leagues come together, and Messi's destroyed each and every one of them. He's dismantled all of us. So therefore we know. So it's like, oh, well, yeah, look, I know at Wembley he destroyed that amazing Manchester United team, but, can he do it at Craven Cottage? Oh, shut up. You fucking idiots. Like, come on. I'm not even entertaining. Just stupidity. And that is what that is.
It is, mate. And, yeah, look, obviously a bit of downtime in the off-season. The Club World Cup's ticking along nicely. We're going to do a little ep on that now. But,
he's up against... Have you seen that, Alex, by the way? He's up against PSG.
PSG. I feel for him.
I hate it. I hate it because Inter Miami are fucking awful.
I know they're
rubbish.
Going to
get crumbled.
But what if he beat them? No, I'm joking. I'm not even going there. No,
if he gets a free kick?
Yeah, man. I know because he hates PSG as well. No, man. Look, thanks for doing that. I know we've not really delved into it, and I didn't want to go full Messi versus Ronaldo because we're not doing that. It's about, don't be, in a world of football fans, don't talk like Piers Morgan about Messi. It's just pathetic, really. And that's my advice. Anybody watching this, please hit us up in the comments what your thoughts are. If you don't have Messi in your World 11, please tell me why. Tell us why, sorry. And yeah, just tell us how much of a twat you think Piers Morgan is. Because we've not even got into him as a person, and hacking phones, storming off on Good Morning Britain because somebody criticised him on a debate about some royal. I can't
Getting
remember
riled by a vegan, probably.
Yeah. So nah, man. No. Like I think that he's given us a bit of content for tonight, and look, Lionel Messi's 38 today. He's going to retire probably within the next year or two. And he's going to be gone forever, and there'll never be another one like him. So, yeah, man, look, enjoy it. See what the World Cup next year. Hopefully he's got a little bit more for us. Hopefully not against England. But, yeah, thanks for that, Christian. Enjoyed running it through on Messi. And, yeah, we'll catch you all on the next one. Thanks for listening, guys.